Try to time it, I'll try to time it. I got options, but I can't hide it. Hope you don't judge me for I've been wildin'. I got options, hella options. Hope you don't judge me, cause I've been wildin'. It's time to face it, but I ain't ready.
So it's the Webby podcast, first episode 1, put on by us.
Why are you so close to your microphone?
Am I too close?
Okay.
Cool.
Am I too far? We're perfect.
My name is Michael Carroll. I'm here with Amanda Hall.
Mm-hmm.
Amanda Roan.
Yeah, let's say Amanda Roan.
Testeroni. What's your nickname?
Tenderoni.
Tenderoni.
Oh, my God. Like tenderoni. You know where it came from.
Amanda Tenda.
They call me Tenda.
Why do they call you Tenda?
Because my last name's Roan. Tenderoni.
Oh,
so they cut off the Roni. Tenda.
Duh. Happy to be here. Waiting for our guest. He should be here shortly.
I'm texting him now. I said, just walk in. We're starting.
So
you can walk in on the podcast.
We've been talking about doing this podcast for a while now. I'm happy that we finally are able to get it done.
A while, meaning like 3 or 4 years. I've been asking Mike to do a podcast, because I just feel like we have such intelligent debates and we're always on opposite ends of everything. But
1,000%.
But it's always like good conversation. It's not just I don't like them just because. Like there's always a meaning behind it.
Like give me some examples of some good conversations we've had.
We're not going to talk about the one because I don't want to get emotional.
What?
And you can't talk about it.
What?
About the singer.
What, Beyonce is not the greatest of all time?
Yes, we're not going to talk about
What's
Beyonce.
some other ones that we've had? Can you remember
We've
anyone?
talked about, let's think.
I had one that someone argued me that Brandy is the best vocalist of all time.
I don't know about best vocalist of all time, but she's
Whitney over her.
Definitely Whitney's over her.
I have Mariah over her.
Mariah has more of a range.
Yes.
But vocal control, Brandy is like a goat.
That's what they told me. And they're music industry guys. And they were like, Brandy.
She is. But it's the people who I think the way I listen to music is different than how you listen to music. You listen for different things than I listen to.
I was having an interesting conversation about the Brandy thing, and they were like, yeah, don't confuse sample size with vocal talent.
Yeah. She's definitely the vocal Bible.
And then they were also like, just because Mariah Carey can go super high with her voice doesn't mean she's just really talented. Mm-hmm. She's just good at a certain part of singing. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I was like, well, if that's the case, Beyonce is. My bad. I like Beyonce a lot.
You haven't listened to.
No, I do. I listened to the country album. Did you like it?
I love the country album,
okay.
But Renaissance Part 1, a couple of her songs, her vocal ability is just crazy, and I feel like people don't listen to it. They just listen to the hits, and they're like, oh, okay, well, it's whatever. But
yeah,
the actual vocal talent, Beyonce's up there too.
Yeah, I mean, she is incredible. She's definitely
yeah.
In
but
my
we
top.
did have. I know one of our debates was about video games.
Oh yeah, so okay, as you can see, this podcast is bouncing back and forth. I mean, I think the focus is about life and life experiences and business and marketing and what to do and inspirational content and just everyday stuff that me and Amanda feel like talking about.
Yeah, I mean,
so the conversation was. She doesn't feel like she would ever date a guy that played video games.
I will not.
Why?
Because I feel like
yeah.
It's childish, number one.
Is it?
And it's a waste of time. All this time you're playing in a video game.
Or can I be out in the yard?
Yeah, or you could be doing something
push-ups?
Working towards your craft or spending time with me.
What if I don't want to spend time with you?
Then we don't need to be together.
What if I spent the last 4 days with you and I need some me time? And your me time might be going to the mall or doing your nails. My me time might be playing my game. And you can't always progress towards your goals 24/7, 7 days a week. You'll burn out. So what if my recharge...
it gives me ick, cringe. You play video games?
Yeah, but what if my recharge is video games? What if you shopping gives me ick?
That's why you have a wonderful wife who puts up with that.
But no, if it's not even just personalization, it's like, I feel like it's an attack against every man that plays video games.
I know, because when we had this conversation, there was also 4 other gamers who all were like, oh my God.
Gaming's the new clubbing.
Okay. Well, y'all do your thing, but I just feel like me personally, I'm not a gamer girl. Like, I'm not dating a gamer.
All right, let me ask you this question. I think it's a great debate. It seems like our guest is going to be late. I think it's a great debate of like, why is it so...
Why is it so what?
Like, would you prefer a guy to go out with his friends on a Saturday night or a guy to play his video game on a Saturday night with his friends in the house?
I prefer a guy who goes out with me on Saturday night.
But if he had to choose to not spend time with you, like we were just talking about, like sometimes Amanda wants her me time. Sometimes, and my wife knows this, Mike likes his me time.
Yeah.
She sometimes likes her time. Sometimes she sits in the car and like watches her Facebook shows or like, you know, talks to like her Aunt Skeeter. Hey, Aunt Skeeter, like down Houston, you know. So like if he needs his me time, like would you prefer him to go out? Or would you prefer him to play video games? If you had to pick one.
I don't care if you're going out. Because going out doesn't mean necessarily you're going to talk to girls and
I didn't say that.
Crazy. Going out, because I'm a going out person.
Yeah.
So that's
but I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about him.
Him, because that's a personality trait. Like, I prefer someone who wants to be out and about doing things. I'm like a social person, so I like social people too.
Playing a game is really social. You know how many conversations about life we have on video games? You know how many real conversations about family and therapy and like music and financing, like in those lobbies before we load up and go into like Warzone or like them custody battles that happen for 3 hours at a time. We learn about each other. I have friends from across the world, like literally because of I've been playing Call of Duty for 15 years.
Well, congratulations.
Like, yo, shout out to my gamers.
It's a whole.
Here's the thing. And this is our conversation. Hey, John. How you doing? Looking fly. Look, come have a seat.
This is the first podcast where the guest is going to walk in.
Yes.
While we're recording.
Episode 1. It is the Webby. He is looking fly.
Episode 1
and
of the
looking
Webby.
good, looking bulky. Look. My boy, the arms is going.
Guns out. You can pull your mic closed.
Make sure you got your mic closed.
Yes.
Let me know if it sounds okay.
Smell good. Sound check. 1, 2.
Okay. Did you mix the colognes together? You know that's some people's thing.
I did a nice what I call a.
Oh, he does smell good.
I know. It hit me in my face right when he walked in.
It was the wind when he came in.
Right.
Well,
it sat and it settled.
I normally have a wind that follows me when I travel.
I'm gonna use that one.
I normally have one when I travel. But I call it my cologne cocktail.
Okay. You got to give me. We don't give it to a podcast, but you got to give me that cocktail. Like you got to give me what that. Is it Baccarat?
No.
Because people love the back.
Yeah, no. None of them.
Is he
Mason,
good
Francis Mason. No, none of that. It was.
Yeah.
It was. The first layer, the first layer, you take it nice and slow.
Mm-hmm.
You go. It's a spring swim.
Okay.
From Louis Vuitton.
Spring swim.
So that's the base. That's the base.
You look like you just came out of a.
I just said like
you're not sweating. You look good.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So then I top it off.
Closer too. Yeah. So we can hear you.
Get a little closer.
Yeah.
Yep. There you
Thanks,
go.
guys.
Yep.
I'm not used to mics, so
you're fine.
Please excuse me.
You're cool.
Please excuse me. So the second layer. It's Bond.
Oh, I heard of that.
Yeah, it's Bond, but it is. How did I just lose it? It's Bond, green bottle, smells.
I heard of Bond. Like number 7 or number 6.
Like
is it a number?
Fantasy Park or something like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's.
So you have a third layer?
No, that's the second layer.
Oh, that's the second layer.
It's that Bond, that particular park in New York. All the Bonds. All of their scents are named after streets in New York.
Really?
Or areas. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yep.
So how do you know, and we're going to dive into your history. It's just, I like this natural, organic conversation. How do you know what colognes them? Is it just like, you ever mix colognes and be like, that's not it?
That's not it.
That's not rocking together. Or is it just experience?
I think it's experience.
Okay.
But I only buy things that I know that I'm going to layer.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So I'm like a nice... I don't like floral like rose and all those. Those are not my scents. I like the fresher scents. And then I always need something that like a oud that's gonna give you a punch.
Okay.
So you get a sweet and a punch.
It's settled.
Right.
That's why it punched me.
That's
when
why
you were walking by. I was like,
was meant.
you
It was
smell
meant to
good.
knock
Why
your
I
ass
called
out.
it a win when he came in. But
It's a win behind me. It's a win
yeah.
behind me.
it's nice in
Definitely win.
yourselves.
So tell me, are we being videoed?
Yeah, this
They,
is
so
video.
they can see the guns?
Yes, they can
Look,
see
see
you
me?
can-
Okay.
You can see
okay.
the monitor
All
right there.
Okay.
Look
Just
at
And there's
very-
a wide too.
just a very subtle, like,
Tell us what you have on too. Like, what's the shirt? What's the shirt? What's on your wrist?
little subtle. So, man, you know what? The wrist, the wrist, man. This is the Apple Watch, the Ultra.
Okay.
And so I went on Amazon,
I like
man,
the
I
band.
need different bands.
Yeah, the band's nice.
Yeah, so I wanted a band that matched that, like, grayish.
Is that a metal band with a clear coat on it?
With a clear band. So we could rock it with any outfit.
That's nice.
So I work out in it, and I always work in, like, orange or white just to stand out.
Yeah, you've
so
been
they can
working out
see
a
me.
lot too.
So
I've been
when-
trying this week to get back in.
So you work out and you want people to watch you.
Yeah, so I have a problem. My problem is, this is my problem. They need to see me. I don't know who they are,
Yeah.
but they need to see me.
But they does exist.
That's so opposite from women. Like I go to the gym, I don't want anyone bothering me. Don't talk to me. Don't look at me.
I
Like
hate
leave me
y'all.
alone.
I hate y'all.
Because then people try to walk up like, oh, you need to be lifting like this.
Yeah. Well, they're
No.
just saying that to
Because
really
they wanted
try to-
your number.
They really want to
Yeah,
get your number.
but it's annoying. So
Yeah, I
mean,
hate going to the
it-
gym because all the women are beautiful, and you're a creep if you try to talk to them.
It is
Yeah.
creepish.
So what do you do? So
Nothing.
if you're
You go to work out.
what?
You can't even
Why
look.
am I
You
working
you just
out?
gotta
I'm
watch
working
where
out
you're
for them.
looking. And like, it's almost better to go to a private gym because you just gotta watch where you're looking and like, just
I'm
be
only
careful.
working out for them to
Yeah.
see me.
Oh, there we go.
So I'm there. They can see me. I can see them, but I can't talk to them.
Yep.
So, John, I appreciate you coming on the podcast. This is the Webby podcast here with Amanda
Webby.
Hall.
The Webby.
The Webby, and
She
I
came up with the
apologize for
name.
being late, man.
No, you're fine.
Yeah,
I think
am-
it was perfect how you came
I
in.
know.
Well, it was the win.
It was
the win.
it's definitely with
It
the
was the
Flew
sound.
win.
in and
It's a
sat
win.
down and jumped right in.
And God, I told you I'm coming in hot.
Yeah.
Coming in hot.
So,
I'm kind of getting used to like speaking. in
so
front of
you
people.
have your own podcast.
I
We can
definitely,
kind
I
of.
definitely have my own podcast, man. It's called The Rich Room.
Yep.
You know, you can check it out on The Rich Room Live on
Yep.
all social
We've been
media
seeing the
platforms.
BTS is looking fire.
Yeah, we're trying, man. We're trying.
In the room, I just want to see the room. I just want to see what it looks because it's looking great.
Well, there's something about that we probably want to talk about off camera because
Yeah.
I have extended invites to you.
Okay.
I have not seen you.
Ooh, calling him
But
out.
it wasn't like a
I don't know if
specific
I'm
invite.
feeling-
It's not like a Saturday.
Feeling some kind of way.
No, we're here.
I mean, I've been there very
She's a
many
Rich Room
times.
veteran.
Yeah, I need to come.
And the great
Just give
thing
me
is-
like a specific day. Me and the wife will come over.
I need it, man. I need
Please.
it. So, and this is for everyone, man.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, if you don't live in Pittsburgh, you don't get it. So what? But so on my Instagram page is I'm at Louis
Louboutin.
Louboutin John.
Yeah.
Louboutin
Yep.
John. Right. So that's my Instagram name.
Where
We
did
can talk
that-
about
Ultra
that.
personality.
Yeah, we
We
gotta talk about where
we
that
can-
came from.
We
too.
can talk about that because that's not self, appointed. That was given.
Oh,
to me.
listen, you was
Right.
telling us some stories about Freak Nick, which I hope we
yeah,
have
yeah,
some time to. You know what I'm saying? So I'm sure it wasn't
Yeah.
self-appointed.
Yeah, who's watching? Is there any wives, like my ex-wives,
Human
clearly are
beings.
watching?
The podcast, the target demo
world.
is humans.
The world.
The
Okay.
world.
They're gonna love that.
Yes.
They gonna love that.
We're going to spread across a variety of topics, which I love that you say, like, this is Pittsburgh, but you're originally from.
I'm from Detroit. Yep,
So tell us about that.
Born and raised in Detroit. Went to McKenzie High School. It's on the west side.
Okay.
And if you're from Detroit, what up, though?
What up, though?
What up, though?
But if you're from Detroit, man, you're east or west.
Okay.
That's one of the things I like about Pittsburgh is you have the east, you have the north side, you got the people from the west.
Mm-hmm.
You got south side. Detroit is east or west.
I was just in Detroit. Beautiful city.
Yeah, beautiful city.
Downtown, like, they got Apple stores and Gucci
Man, that's the
stores.
city of
I'm
the
like,
future. I tell
whoa.
everybody. Dan
It's
They
Gilbert.
just
West.
opened the train up there, like the train
the
station.
Q-Rail and the
The big one, the Central.
Yeah,
They turned into a museum. It's great.
Is it divided by 8 Mile Highway?
Well, that's
all
one of
I
the.
Is it dangerous?
That's
8 Mile?
Well,
Are you
Eminem
from 8
said.
Mile?
I am not from 8 Mile.
You been on 8
is
Mile?
8 Mile is not dangerous.
It's
8
not
Mile
dangerous?
borders the suburbs. So
Oh, okay.
You from the streets, John?
I'm from the streets, man. I'm from the hood, man.
From Detroit?
Royal Boulevard, man.
Oh, you
ABP, gang move, man.
Hey, yo, he started talking crazy.
John used to be a rapper too, but we not.
yeah.
Was it? Is it your same nickname that's on Louis Vuitton, John?
No.
What was your rap name?
My rap name came from, I don't talk about this much, and you know what the hell
This is why she's the perfect.
The hell
We
with
said
Amanda
John got to be
for
your
bringing
first
this up
guest.
now.
Right.
The hell with her for bringing
I know
this
all
up.
What's the rap
secrets.
name?
So the rap name was KO Kill.
That's fire.
KO Kill. You know what? It's funny, man. A group right
Looking for a
now,
manager?
a cat named Big Hit, a cat named Big Hit out of L.A.
Yeah.
Him and his daughter just did put an album out, and he used one of our songs.
Stole.
Yeah. We're not gonna say stole because we'll see him. You know, we'll see him.
He is from that.
We'll see him.
He is that. I want to hear the song.
Yeah.
When I come to the
Yeah,
you can play for me?
yes, sir. I got you.
Cool.
My group is called Gang Move. It's me and my guy June RTG. He was Young Bango.
Young Bango.
Young Bango and KO Kill. The name of the album was Coming to My World. We got a video. You know what? We're gonna show a clip. We're gonna show a clip for y'all.
Yeah.
We're gonna run a clip for the video.
Right. Insert clip here.
Insert clip. I don't talk about it much, man. It's like it's a part of my life but it's a part of who I am. Yeah. But I think if people look back on it, it like lessens who I am professionally because
To some people.
To
me, it just broadens my scope.
For us, we understand that it's the music industry and it's entertainment. I'm an entertainment guy.
Yeah. And look how that's transferred. Those skills have transferred to the man you are today.
Yeah.
Which leads to like when you first came to Pittsburgh, and Amanda, hop at any time. Like, what is one of the first businesses or ventures or things you found yourself
Or wait,
doing?
before we do that, how did you end up in Pittsburgh?
How did I get to
from
Pittsburgh?
Detroit?
Great question. So I mentioned Dan Gilbert with Quicken Loans, which is now Rocket Mortgage, that owns downtown Detroit. He owns maybe 120 different buildings.
Yeah, I heard that.
Garage units. He has his own security force downtown Detroit. Well, he started a company back in the late 90s called Rock Financial.
Okay.
And he spun off an online mortgage company called Quicken Loans.
Okay.
And
we all heard of Quicken.
Yeah, you've heard of Quicken Loans. They grew up real big, but I was working with Jerome doing sports marketing. I started my company. It was called EX Sports Marketing. I was working with Cordell, some other Steelers, my guy Wild Style, Marcellus Wiley.
Cordell Stewart.
Yeah, Cordell. He's my guy.
He just name dropping the first names like you should know who that is.
I know some Cordells, but then I'm like,
Cordell.
Cordell
Stewart. Cordell Stewart. That's my dude.
What was he like? What's he like as a person?
He's a cool ass guy. You know, back in the day, there was all kind of rumors swirling. Man. Yeah. Cordell's, but it was just because he was the quarterback, and Steeler quarterbacks get persecuted.
Get all the heat.
They get all the heat.
Cordell was nice.
Yeah, and he's still nice. He was ahead of his time, man. I think if he was playing now, he would.
He definitely. Funny story. My senior paper in high school, we had to write a senior paper. I wrote why Cordell Stewart was better than Tommy Maddox. Was
really?
That was my senior paper, and I got an A on it.
Of course you
I was
did.
so into it.
Of course you did.
Like, I backed Cordell like 100%.
And at that time, man, I think the coaching staff, Carroll and the guys, they really didn't know how to utilize this mobile quarterback. They just didn't get it. So as a result, they moved him to wide receiver. They put him in the slot. They got this great quarterback catching balls because they just didn't get it. It was ahead of the time. Nowadays, Cordell would be the man. They would be game planning against him like they eventually did.
That's crazy.
So
victim of circumstance.
Yeah. So I started working. I was doing sports marketing. Found out that these dudes was cheap. They didn't want to pay for the services that I was providing. So I decided to go into real estate. Some guys who worked at Quicken Loans, Bruce Schwartz, Jeff Perry, they were like, they were on the floor. They were sales managers. Moving up in a company. And Bruce Schwartz is best friends with Dan Gilbert, right? So he eventually became Mr. Detroit and gives tours and all kind of stuff. Well, these guys rented a bus that we had with Jerome. Okay. We had a 45-foot bus with Jerome's logo on it. It was a tour bus.
Yeah,
so
that's crazy.
We took the tour bus across the country, and we would rent it out to people. So these guys in Detroit rented it, and we went and picked them up, brought them here. Well, when they got here, I got a chance to talk to them. I'm like, oh, man, you do real estate? Man, I was looking to get into real estate. So fast forward a couple of months, they gave me a job doing sales.
Okay.
So I started doing online mortgage sales, which at the time was insane in 2003. I couldn't believe somebody
2003.
even gave me their social security number. I was in shock.
Yeah.
So coming out the gate, it was a culture change, because we come from a culture where you have to protect. Everybody's trying to get you. You know, you have to protect. You don't give your social security number out to a person in front of you, let alone to somebody on the phone.
Right.
And they were more than willing to give me this information. So I excelled there, and running parallel to that was the Steelers going to the Super Bowl in 2005.
Oh.
So I'm at Quicken
Everything's
Loans.
going up.
And man, listen, I have ascended. I'm an executive mortgage banker with Quicken Loans. Everybody loves me because I got a nice personality. I love people. So
that shit.
so my mentor at the time was Bill Emerson, who was the president of Quicken Loans. That's my dude, and he played football at Penn State.
Yeah.
So him and Jerome would talk shit to each other. So they go to the Super Bowl. These guys, me, Emerson, Jeff Perry, Bruce, we're all just like, these are guys who love the Steelers, and the Steelers are in Detroit. So we're everywhere on TV. USA Today is filming me. They're standing in my desk while I'm selling mortgages. They're taking pictures. It's insane. Right after that, Jerome says, hey, man, you know what? I met this guy in Pittsburgh. He has a title company. He's starting his mortgage company. Man, we want you to run it. I'm like, all right, cool. Well, what's up? Well, his name is Chuck Sanders. And right now his sister Gloria runs both companies, the title company and the mortgage company. So, dude, I want you to meet him. So we went out to L.A. because every year Jerome had a birthday party in L.A. and Vegas. We go out there, and then Chuck and my man Rick come out. So Chuck got a briefcase. I'm like, all right, man, this corny dude. What's up with this?
Not corny.
Man, listen, he lit it up. So then his personality came out, and I'm like, I like this dude. You know what I mean? Like instantly, I like just because of how he talked about business, and he had a swag. It wasn't the current swag he had, but he had this smell of success, I thought. You know what I mean? And that's what I saw in LA. So we hung out, and that was in February. At the beginning of February. I put in my 2 weeks, went and talked to Emerson. He said, listen, John, man, I knew you was probably going to leave soon, but I tell you what, you guys, you just company Urban Mortgage, you go out, you start making money, call me. When you start making money, call me. I definitely want to work with you. I'm like, all right, that's dope. Okay, that's good. I didn't really grasp that. I never thought I would go fucking back there again. Mm-hmm. Is it okay to cuss?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Shit. Goddamn. All right. So Emerson had that conversation. I come to Pittsburgh. First day, I come in. The only person I know is Rick and Chuck. Those only two guys.
Is Rick the one that was at the house when we were Chuck's birthday party?
No, Rick. Rick. He's on vacation right now. So Rick, so I get to the office, me and Chuck chopping it up. He was like, hey, man, I need you to meet my dude, Randy. Randy's going to help you.
This is when you met Randy?
The first dude I met.
It's so weird.
The first dude I met in Pittsburgh.
Right?
The first guy I met, man. Randy. He's going to take you, get your laptop. I'm talking to him. He's crazy. I'm like, I like this, man.
How crazy was he?
Listen, this is cool. So then I started meeting like Lori, Ashanti, Kiana, all the girls who worked, Cavette, all the girls who worked in this office that Chuck had. And I'm kind of amazed because to me, I'm coming from the blackest city in America, right? But I work for a completely white corporation, right? There was very few minorities, let alone blacks working with Quicken Loans at the time. I come to this small town, Pittsburgh, and it's all black. And I'm like, dude, this was a gift from God. This was a gift from God. So
black people actually running things.
Listen, so it was amazing to me, you know what I mean? Because I wasn't in real estate outside of Quicken in Detroit, and there was a ton of people doing it then, like Vernell and Verzell and all that. It was a ton of people doing it, but I didn't know them. I was just cooped up at Quicken's office. So I come here, and we're running Urban Mortgage. We were doing like a lot of subprime mortgages, the dirty loans that that we needed for our community because we had to educate them. First, we had to educate them. We had to put them through credit repair. It takes 6 to 8 months for a person to buy a home in our community because we weren't taught coming up. Hey, listen,
Right.
this is what you need to do. Keep your credit. Don't overextend yourself. All those fundamental things that we now know, that we now teach our children.
Yep.
I think my parents' generation was in the grind. They were in the grind. Or maybe it was just my people. They did their best. Jerome tells a story that Jerome tells a funny. Oh, Jerome Bettis is my brother, by the way.
Yeah.
So Jerome tells a story whenever he speaks, like, "Hey man, we didn't have a lot of money, but we had a lot of love. So we had a ton of love in the house. We had a strong father. So I get to Pittsburgh. The mortgage bubble burst back in like 2008.
Yep.
We're 2 years into this company. All of our lenders dried up. Everything burns down. So we're closing this company down.
This is around the time the Savoy was open?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, you're gonna love this. You're gonna love this. So I fly. I'm still living in Detroit.
Yeah.
I'm in Detroit, dating a girl here, but I'm still living there. So I came in for the big meeting with Chuck where we shutting this puppy down.
Yeah.
We shutting it down. So Chuck and I are talking. He says, "Man, you know what? Why don't you consider moving to Pittsburgh?" No. That's not it. This was before we decided to shut it down. While we're operating, I come into town because I came in 1 week out of every month for 2 years. So I came in. We're sitting down. I'm in his office. He's like, "John, man, you know, I just been noticing something about you, man. You underestimate yourself, right?" I'm like, "What you talking about, man? Chuck crazy. What are you talking about?" But he was like, "Nah, man, you really underestimate yourself. I think you could be really doing bigger things, man. You just working for me." You know what I mean? I'm like, "Yeah, I'm trying, man. You know, I'm trying. I got kids. I got little kids. I'm working hard. I hear you, brother. But you know, you go do what you do. I'm doing what I'm doing. I got this. Yeah, I need more. Yeah, I'm broke, but so what, man? I'm working. You know, and then I'm breaking up my marriage. I'm going through a divorce. All of that happens. I come in for that final meeting, and Chuck says, "Hey, listen, man." He said, "We're going to shut this down, but I want you to consider something. I want you to consider moving to Pittsburgh. I don't have anybody here I can trust, man, and I would love for you to come here, consider moving here. I promise I'll make you a rich man." I'm like, "All right, okay, well, I don't have a job." Right at this point, I'm a hustle. I'm a grind back in Detroit because I'm a serial entrepreneur.
Yeah.
So I'm always doing something. You know what I mean? And we had just started touching on like supplier diversity with a guy, Rod Rickman, in Detroit. So I'm like, "All right, Chuck, I'm gonna come in." Told my daughter and my soon-to-be ex that, "Hey, I got a project. I'm gonna be gone like 3 months." I knew I was moving to Pittsburgh, and I lied, but I couldn't tell my babies, my 2 daughters, and my son was in college. So I'm like, "All right." I came in. I started January 2009. As soon as I get in, Chuck says, I said, "Well, where do you need me?" He was like, "I don't know, man. Just find something to do."
Yeah.
Well, hold on, man. You said just gonna make me a rich man. What do you mean find something to do? Just find something to do. Okay, well, I hopped in. So it's an office full of women. So I'm like, okay, all right. I know first things first. I'm not messing with nobody here, man. I don't know anybody.
Smart man.
I'm not doing this, man. I got a problem. I'm not gonna let that problem destroy my life in Pittsburgh. My new life. So I started working in HR, started working around, and then Chuck came in. He was like, "Hey, man, you know what? I found this building, man," because he knows about our entertainment background. Because not only did I own the record label, but Jerome and I and Jamal, we threw parties for years.
You talking about Jamal from Wambo?
No, Jamal Dokes. Jamal Dokes is Jerome's best friend and business manager.
Okay.
And he's my other brother. So, it's just the 3 of us.
That's right.
And Big Jeff is 4, but it's us. So Chuck knew that we threw parties. He knew that I knew the entertainment industry. He was like, "Found this little building, man. It's in this neighborhood. It's everybody's neighborhood. Nobody's afraid to go to this place. It's over in the Strip District." I'm like, yeah, okay. Yeah, Strip District, all right. Where is that? He's like, "Well, let's go over there." So we go over, we go to this bar called Charlie Bly's. We look at it, it's got like the prison slit windows. We're like, okay. He was like, "Man, I'm telling you." Then he took me on a tour. He was like, "I got to take you to CJ's. I got to take you to Arts." And it
took
was
it to Arts?
right after, it was right after they changed over from
Art's
Nats.
been open
From Nats
forever.
to
Art's been open forever.
So
for
we
real.
go in. So we go in. Tell me if I'm going too long, y'all.
No, you're
No,
good.
you're
I can
cool.
talk forever.
No, because it's
So,
good. Like
this-
it's
you're
You're
interesting.
going.
for
These
sure.
are the line of questions we already had.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Yes, you're going through it.
Oh, okay. So we so he took me to Arts. We go back to the building, Charlie Blige. He's like, yeah, man, I want this to be a step over Arts. I'm like, all right, okay, cool. Let's do it. So Jerome came in town. We bought the building, and we call ourselves the Rock Boys because we started the company, the Rock Entertainment.
Okay.
Because Chuck went to Slippery Rock, and they called it the Rock. So we're the Rock Boys.
That's funny. I never knew where that came from.
I've seen that
Yeah.
name.
Yeah, the Rock and the Depth. So me, Chuck, Rico, this guy Rico Abendanza. Rico has the DJ equipment, so we went down to this new building, set up the equipment, and we in there partying, just us three. We in there drinking and partying. So the next day, Jerome comes in town, so I bring him down. So me and him drinking a bottle of wine in this dusty ass bar because it had been closed forever with this huge wooden bar. We sitting down. I'm like, yeah, man, I'm excited as hell, dude. We got this building. Man, we don't know what we're gonna name it, but Chuck wants to go a step over Arts. You ever been to Arts? He was like, man, I would not come to this damn place if he's doing what? Oh no, you won't see me. I'm like, wait a minute, wait, what don't I know? What's going on? Why wouldn't you come here? He's like, man, I'm not going. I would go to Arts. Why would I go to a step over Arts right down the street? That don't make sense to me. I wouldn't do it. So I'm like, well, what would you do? He was like, all right. So we had some napkins. So now he's drawing. I'll put a fireplace here, man. I would do fine dining, this, and this. I go back. So I'm like, damn, man, that's kind of crazy. Like, we got this plan.
Yeah.
So he just threw everything upside down. So I went back to the office.
Sometimes it takes that though.
Right.
I scanned, and Jerome's business acumen is insane right now. I mean, I believe everything outside of my experience working with Chuck, like I owe Chuck everything because the experience working with him, introducing me to supplier diversity, NMSDC, and all of those things.
Yeah.
And how important the networking was at the time. That was there. I can't even put a price on that. But then I partnered with Jerome in his name, and it was like a match made in heaven.
Yeah.
We've made millions behind of it. You know, and Jerome and I. So
I know you guys got like 3 or 4, 5, and
Yeah,
just
we
open,
don't-
just announced a
we
new
just
one.
announced a
You
new
know,
one.
I seen you on LinkedIn. I'm like, oh, he going crazy.
Man. So we're now like the national experts on joint ventures in the energy industry.
Wow.
Yeah, from a minority side. Yeah,
That's dope.
insane.
I would love
man.
to hear more
And
about
it's
that.
insane. It was all born from Chuck.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And Chuck being involved with this organization, having the biggest heart in Pittsburgh, I always called, and saying, hey, listen, you know what? Hey, John, I don't want to go to this meeting. Why don't you go? The Rock Boys.
The Rock Boys in the building.
The Rock Boys
I
in the
literally
building
never
tonight.
knew that. Like,
The Rock Boys in the building tonight.
I don't know what I thought The Rock Entertainment.
Good old Slippery Rock. Because we was challenged, like, what do you name it? I don't know. Well, let's call it The Rock. I went to The Rock. My man. What's in the
crazy.
name? Nothing. You call it peanut
Yeah.
butter.
That's
you
true.
blow it up, you're going to blow it up.
So when did you guys come up with the name?
We came up...
Yeah, so you were saying that Jerome was like, we need to go and make this upscale.
Right,
and
yeah.
all
So
that.
Jerome, he drew it out on a paper towel, and then I went back to the office. I scanned it in, and then I met with Chuck the next day. I said, man, I was down with Jerome. He said he ain't coming. He was like, what? I said, yeah. He said he ain't coming. He's like, well, he doesn't want to come to a step over Arts. He said if you want him to come, it's got to be upscale. I said, here, this is what he showed me. He did this and this. I emailed it to him. I printed it. This is what he thinks fireplace. He was like, fuck it, let's do it. I'm like,
Sounds about right.
fuck it, let's do it. Fuck it, let's do it. So then now I had the task of, because let's do it doesn't mean let's do it. Let's do it means, John, just get it. Just do it.
Get it
Just
done.
do it.
That's exactly what that means.
That's what it means. So I hired my first step was I hired a designer. My guy, Luca Panagico. I hired Luca. And Luca and I talked. He said, well, I got a general contractor, this cat Dimitri, Greek dudes, great guy. So I'm like, all right. So then we put the plan together. So Luca and I came up with a storyboard, very extensive. It may have taken us a month to come through and go through the designs of being down there, getting the plans, going through it. We hired an architect, Desmond and Associates, down in the Strip, and we started working with Luke, who's passed now, but we started working with them, and they came up with the plans. So now it's like slowly but surely taking shape. I'm like, wow. So next we're like, okay, we need to do some research. Like, we know what we want, but let's look at some other restaurants. So we went to a restaurant called XO in Cleveland. This is back when LeBron was still playing the first time with Cleveland. So we went to XO. XO was dope. After the game, all the players were there. Everybody in that like young, I would say, progressive crowd in Cleveland was at XO after every game. So, matter of fact, my first time I drove in, dude, I had to wait outside. I had to call Chuck. I'm like, Chuck, man, I can't get in. Why can't I get in this restaurant? It's a restaurant. That's before we thought about like Savoy being anything. It was like, why am I waiting to get in the damn restaurant? So pull up. Chuck lets me in. I love it. White tablecloth. This place is dope, but it's a restaurant. It's no club. It's a straight restaurant, but it's off the chain. DJ going nuts. So that was our first step. So we like, this is what we want. We want to bring this to Pittsburgh. Then we took another trip. We took, me and Chuck and went to, because at that point we was traveling with the EMSDC, so we were everywhere, not on entertainment, just on the business side. So we went to New York. We grabbed Luca. We went to New York. We went to 2 restaurants. One was STK. STK down in the meatpacking district. So that impressed us because as soon as we walked in, their security was in black suits. Security had black suits. We had met some girls down there. One girl spilled her drink. Security was on it. We thought it was going to be like a busboy. No, security came in the suit. Hey, y'all good? We were like, that's what we need. We need security to be
crazy.
Upscale, like inconspicuous. So like, all right, that's dope. Then they had a DJ in the restaurant. So we like, that's a dope idea. So the next day we go to a restaurant called Butter. Butter, they got a DJ. We like, we got to have a DJ in the restaurant. And we got to have a DJ booth, not just like a table. Because at XO, they just had the DJ on the table. They didn't have a booth. We like, we need a DJ booth in the fucking dining room. That's going to be dope. Nobody ever seen that. That's going to be dope. So we had Luca with us. So we planned it out. We came back, and then we just started building. We started buying furniture. We went back to New York looking for furniture. We went everywhere sourcing furniture, man. So, but we wanted to look, and it matched up to the storyboard. Yeah. And then it came. That was we bought the building in like December 2009. We were ready to go April 2011. So we opened April 2011.
When you look at like starting and doing that business back in that time versus you just announced another business now in the modern day, like what is the differences in like the approach? Is it the same thing? Like,
yeah, I think it's the same thing, man. It was a lot of it was the research because like, what do you want to do? You know, on like a 30,000 foot view, I want a restaurant. But how do you want this restaurant to look? Do you want a DJ? What type of food do you want? Where is your chef? I got a crazy story about the chef. Like who's going to cook the food? What type of staff? What about the front of the house? Who's going to do the day-to-day managing of the staff? You know, what payroll service do you use? What cash register system do you use?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, the POS system.
The POS, all of that stuff we had zero knowledge of, but we had to get ramped up. So and the difference, so we didn't have any knowledge there. So this new joint venture that Jerome and I just entered in is called M&A Resources. Yep. It's a joint venture with CNX, and CNX is the number 2 natural gas production and exploration company in the country. Wow. So they're definitely, I hate to say Fortune 500, but they're big boys.
Yeah,
I think they do about $3 to $4 billion in revenue a year.
Congratulations!
Yeah,
I seen the announcement. I was like, wow, that's crazy.
It's a huge opportunity. Yeah, it's a lot of work, but it's more of the lines of, okay, great, go, and we like, okay, I'm gonna go over here. I'm gonna go over here.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So, but they've given us great guidance. It's almost like a technical assistance program because they not only are we joint venturing with them, but we've hired their staff the guys who ran their business to now run our business, so that we're aligned, so that they know that the work that we're producing is done exactly to their standards.
I have a couple of questions. I know Amanda has a couple personal questions, but I think my last, I guess, business type of question is, especially as an up and coming entrepreneur, is like, how do you scale? Like, how do you know when to hire what do you look for when you're hiring people?
Dude, that is, I think
it's really tough.
Yeah,
Right.
And there's two different levels to that. So when you're looking to hire an executive or any leaders, excuse me, I hate to say managers, but any leaders in the organization, you definitely want to look at the history more than anything. Like, and for us, we always, Jerome and we just met another guy, a potential guy that we're looking to run our plug-in operation. We take him to dinner because we got to vibe with you. Mm-hmm. If we don't vibe with you, if we feel like,
but
if we're so we have a few secrets that I hate that anybody
tell us your secrets. We need
Look,
this
anybody
on the Webby podcast.
These sons of bitches. I hope they don't listen to it and try to set us up. But number one thing we look for is they have to be family oriented. In our dinner with them, we want to hear about their kids, but we're not going to ask them about their kids. We want to hear about the kids. We want to hear, hey, your wife, if you can be single, hey, but what about your kids? What about your family? Where are your parents?
Okay.
Those are, so at our dinner, we don't talk business up front. Mm-hmm. We just shoot the shit.
That's the second thing.
First
thing is family oriented.
Family oriented. Mm-hmm. And in that first meeting, that's what we're looking for. That's the first thing we're looking for.
Okay.
And the second thing we're looking for is, hey, do we have anything that's relatable? And what we found was, this is going to sound weird, we found that if you have anybody from a rural area, like I would say a hillbilly.
Like Mount Pleasant.
No. Like Ponsatani.
Yeah, well, Mount Pleasant's an hour away. My mom's from Mount Pleasant. That's why I said that.
Ponsatani.
Yeah.
And like a brother
outside.
Of ours, Mahaffey. Yeah. All these Waynesburg, all these small cities that are very rural.
Like an hour away, 45 minutes.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Or I got Chris, he's from a city called 100, West Virginia. 100.
Like
not 100, not 200.
100. That's
100.
nice.
100. They call it 100, West Virginia.
Okay.
And it's very rural. And the similarities between rural and urban, and we get along with these guys extremely well, is because what the general public or general population doesn't know is that the urban and rural areas are almost identical. They're identical. In our case, in our urban areas, they're all black. Mm. Their rural areas, they're all white. That's the first thing, right? Mm-hmm. So they have very little
intersection
interactions with the opposite, with other races.
Yep.
It's black. It's white, right? They have very limited resources. Extreme poverty, extreme high drug use, and hopelessness in both communities, right? And at some point, we're almost pit against each other.
Yeah.
So because you'll hear all the negative things. Well, they're fucking hillbillies, hicks from the sticks. All these dudes, they're from the hood, they ghetto. It's all of those terms. Those are the same fucking terms.
Yeah.
Right.
Hicks from the sticks is just ghetto. It's just a different term, man.
Yeah, it is.
Different colors.
Yeah.
But we don't know that, right? So working in the energy industry, it's lily white, and it's all in the rural areas. It's Greene County, Washington County. It's all up through the whole Appalachia. And I'm saying that wrong. They're gonna be.
I know you're talking about
Appalachia.
Yeah, I say it wrong every time.
We're the Paris of Appalachia.
Yes.
I think it's called. That's what it's. Appalachia.
Yeah. So when we're meeting these guys, we want to hear their story. Like, okay, where are you from?
Yeah.
Where are you from? This new guy we were meeting with, he's from Mississippi, rural area of Mississippi, but he loves Ole Miss. He loves football. He's very close with all of the black players. He played college football. But when you see him, you don't know that. You just see a guy in a flannel shirt. You think, who is this hillbilly with this southern accent? Because, up north, we think like southern accent means you're dumb. It doesn't. It's just their accent. Everyone has an accent. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it sounds so different to us, like we sound different to them. So we meet with them, we find out their experience.
Yep.
That's when we go, okay, so all right, it's a vibe. We like this guys. What's the experience? Boom, boom, boom.
But when you say experience, like bringing that back, like what we're dealing with our business is people who have little to no experience. Like, when do you know to give a chance to someone who doesn't have experience versus like, oh, we need, because how do you get the experience if you don't get a chance?
Yeah,
like,
it's like the catch-22.
Yeah.
You need
So do you
experience,
ever
but
pick
can't get
someone
it.
like off of potential?
All the time.
Yeah.
All the time. But it's through that vibe. It's through who they are. You know what I mean? And somebody who can finish.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you know what I mean? Because there's if you're not doing well, you're not going to have the money. You're not going to look like you have the money. You may even be desperate.
Right.
You know what I mean? So desperate is one sign that you look at like anybody who's desperate. They actually lose a point.
Yep.
They lose a point because desperate people will do anything.
Yeah, that's true.
But you can still be desperate. I mean, we desperately want to make money right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But we're not.
There's a way to approach
It's a way to
Yeah.
approach it.
being in a desperate place.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And
Right?
the professionalism.
in your effort, not in the way you speak or the way you move around.
Yep.
Right?
It is. And I think you look at, talking about experience, what are they doing right now? What are they doing? And how are you trying to further your career at this? Are you making sacrifices to learn, or is it all about making some money for you?
Right.
You know what I mean?
That
Because-
is tough. You got to stay away from the people that do anything for
Just-
money.
yeah.
Dude,
Oh my
listen,
goodness.
Listen, because what the old saying is, you got to feed your wolves. You got wolves. You keep your wolves around, so you keep your employees around who are there for the money. But if once the money slows up, then they're gonna attack you. You know what I mean? You got to be careful. You got to be careful with people who are only out for the money. But we're only here, and I tell anybody who works for me, I'm like, dude, listen, we're only here to make money. I'm not here to shake your hand. We don't want to look good. We're here to make money for a purpose. Let's do it the best we can do.
I got 2 more questions before you get into yours. 'Cause I know we don't got too much time. I just want to try and get my business stuff off.
Yes. I like it.
Could you give us 3 keys to financial literacy or building generational wealth?
Yeah, I can.
As one of the big dogs in like our ecosystem,
Yeah.
like one of the people leading the pack.
I think the first thing is education.
Yeah.
You gotta educate yourself, and whether it's formal education, institutional, or if it's experience, if it's working, you know what I mean? Because education costs a lot for a reason. You know what I mean? So because if you have to pay for your education through experience, it just takes longer. So you can go to school, you can pay for it up front, or you can pay for it through experience, which takes a lot longer. But either way, you get it. Either way, you can get that same education on what you're looking to do.
Yeah.
Right. Number 2 is nobody can do it alone, man. It's networking. It's the team. It's who you're putting yourself around.
Yeah.
Because those are the most important people. Like, nobody's done it alone. You throw like the stereotypical name Bill Gates. He didn't create everything about Microsoft itself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Think about where we are. Somebody designed this room. Somebody else put the carpet in. You know what I mean? It takes a team, and if you have that singular focus, well, I'm gonna just do this, you won't be able to scale.
Yeah.
Scaling is impossible when you're by yourself. You know what I mean?
No, I
know what I mean?
1,000% agree.
And I'm just going on the personal things. And the third thing is that team. Well, let's go back to 2. The team that you build around, you got to be able to trust them. You got to be able to trust them. You know what I mean? You got to be able to leave your wallet on the table and know that it's going to be there when you get back, because nobody's looking at your wallet like, dude, we got millions to make. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the team, trusting the team, making sure your team, I always say, is smarter than you, but making sure everybody has a role. Everybody knows a little bit more than you in what you're looking to do. Right?
One more, Amanda. All right, and then you can go. One more. If you can give your younger self one piece of advice, what would that be and why?
Keep going. Keep going. You're doing it right. Keep going.
That's
and be
right.
patient. Because another thing Chuck told me, he's like, man, you know what? I didn't make my first million until I was 45. We were on the plane going somewhere. I didn't make my first million until I was 45. I'm thinking like, damn, man, you 6 years older than me. I'm 39. I ain't trying to wait 49. But I had waited 39. He was like, yeah, man, I made my first million when I was 45. Okay, that's cool.
Oh, so I still have time.
Plenty of time.
Me too.
The average millionaire doesn't make his first $1 million until he's 50. That he can say, I'm a millionaire. until he's 50. So, but that is before social media. That's before influencers have taken over. So, if you take that out of the equation, 50 is where you want to be. 50 is the goal. And I didn't know that. So, but I would tell myself, continue, stay the course. You're doing the right thing, because every experience, every job, everything I did in the past has led me to be the person who I am right now. And I wouldn't trade any of that, any of the pain, any of the successes, because I talk about it on the podcast. I'm a product of my failures.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm only here because I failed 100 times. And out of that 100 failures, I've succeeded 3. But they were big.
They were big ones.
Big. They were big. But the failures were big too. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'm a product of my failures. John, stay the course. Keep going. You're doing the right thing.
Thank you for that.
So I'm going to get a little bit into personal.
You better not bring up gang move.
No. I'm not going to bring up anything because, the people don't know. Like, I've known you for
hundreds,
15 plus years because we work together at Savoy. But I will say this, which I thank you for. One thing I learned from you is, like, I think I was talking about earlier, like the figure it out. Yeah. That helps so much because a lot of people are just so lost and like, that you give them direction and they're like, okay, but how do I do that? Well, what do I do? What's the first step? Figure it out. Yeah. And so I know at Savoy, since we were like kind of figuring it out together, I know Chuck would be like, hey, I want this. He would tell me that and I'd be like, John, I don't know what to do. Figure it out.
Figure it out. Let's
and
go.
you might give me like a little hint here and there, like, we'll start here. And then I would start there and then figure it out, like, oh, these people aren't listening to me. I can't. Well, tell them this. But you would give me a little bit, and then I'd figure out
that's the key.
most. And that taught me so much. And then when I moved to LA, I was kind of just like figuring it out. Yeah. But I had that. I'd learned that from Savoy. And
you had that experience.
Yeah, I bring that with me all the time. So
that's important.
Yeah,
that's real. Important because, like, and when we get back to hiring, when you're hiring people, you got to have people who can think on their feet. Mm-hmm. If you don't want soldiers, well, let me take that back. There are roles for soldiers. If you have soldiers, you put a soldier there. Hey, I need you to sit there for 8 hours. Don't fucking move.
Right. Yeah.
And the soldier's not, because you know what? He doesn't want to.
Right.
All he want to do is get a check.
And that's okay. And that's what you're comfortable with. That's okay.
But that person is not going to be sitting next to me. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Because a person sitting next to me is going to be thinking the same way. They're going to be out thinking me. They're going to be telling me, you know what, we need to do it this way. Oh shit, okay. Yeah, all right. Because I don't know it all. Yeah. You know what I mean? And that's critical. You got to be able to think on your feet. You got to be able to move quickly and make decisions. And making decisions in itself is hard because you may make the wrong decision, but you got to be able to stand on it and know that you're going to make wrong decisions, but you got to do something.
Right.
You know what I mean? You got to make the decision.
So let's talk about love.
Oh, shit. Yes, I'm an authority on that. On losing love. I'm an authority.
I would say, well, I just want to know, like, so me personally, you've seen me in like 17 relationships.
Yes.
They never worked out.
Well, I knew one wasn't. Well, about 3 of them. I'm starting to question your choice of men right now.
But like, okay, so I guess I will ask, are you in love right now? And if not, like, how do you find your happiness as far as it goes with love? Because for me, I'm like, I don't even know how to describe it. It's just like, is love more a self-love thing, or is it like you find that love in someone else?
So this is a crazy subject for me, right? Because it's either people gonna love or hate my opinion on this one. But I am twice divorced, right? I'm probably the worst husband my 2 wives ever had.
Why?
Right?
Why are you the worst?
I think because as I look back on it, I wanted things my way. You know what I mean? I only wanted it my way. I wasn't willing to compromise that much, and what I compromised on, I felt didn't go right. So like, damn, we should have just did it my way. Which is wrong.
Right.
Which is completely wrong. And I am a cut and runner, meaning that, like, if we're home, we're doing good, we're in a relationship. If something doesn't go wrong, or I'm feeling like my needs doesn't get met, or if I roll over and you say no, I'm going to some other woman immediately.
Really?
I'm not the next morning.
Really?
I'm a cut and runner. I'm gonna go have my needs met and then come home like nothing happened.
That's what any relationship.
Any of them.
If you say so, if a woman says no, you're out.
Well, I'm not out. I'm just out finding something else.
That's terrible.
But when's the last time you felt like you was in love, though?
I was in love with a beautiful young woman. I thought I was gonna get married to her too.
Yeah, you
2
told me
years
that.
ago. Yeah, I
We
really,
talked about it at your wedding. We sat there and he was like, "Yeah, I'm thinking like."
Yeah, I thought I was, man, but so right now I'm very particular. You know what I mean? I like what I like. I don't care if no one else thinks she's attractive or anything. I like what I like. If I think I can look at her for the rest of my life, that's who I want to mess with, right? So this girl was that. She just had an attitude. She was not even an attitude. She was sarcastic, and I have a problem with dealing with sarcasm. Because I'm straight up. Just talk straight up. If something bothers you, tell me. Don't be sarcastic with me because I feel like I'm being attacked. And in my first marriage, it was kill or be killed with her. You know, we grew up in the hood together. It was like that hood romance. We had great children. We both ascended from that. But she was very aggressive, and I tend to like aggressive women. So she was very aggressive,
Like
meaning
Red.
that she would fight. I like sexy red. What's up, sexy?
You like sexy.
And you know what? She told
loves
me
Sexy
via interview this morning not to call her red.
Sexy Red told you not to call her Red?
It was via an interview, but it wasn't directly to me. But it was for me to hear.
Oh, so when she comes to Pittsburgh, you're not gonna call her Red.
I have been addressing her and telling her what's up, red. She hasn't replied, but she don't like red. She wants sexy, so I gotta. So
like,
please
"Hey,
remind
sexy."
me. What's up, sexy? Hey, get it, sexy. Yeah, that's what I'm on.
We got time for one more.
We got one more.
Oh man.
So, but let me just hit that
Yeah.
real quick. So, relationships. No, I'm not in love right now. I am single. I'm single by choice. I feel like
Are you happy?
like I am happier than I ever been.
Yeah.
That's all that
with me,
matters.
except for it gets lonely sometimes, or if I want to beat on some woman. No, I'm sorry. Let me take that back. In case I want to have sexual relations, a beat neat. We call it a beat neat. Because I want to beat neat. I don't want to beat neat. Then I
my
need
God.
companionship. But because I'm surrounded by women, with you being one of them, I'm surrounded by women who are my good friends. Any relationship I get into, the woman is threatened immediately because I'm around beautiful women all day. But they don't understand like these are my friends. It's my support group.
Yeah.
You know, I got my boys here, but the girls play. The women around me keep me balanced. You know what I mean? I have daughters, my mom, my sister, all my sisters. So I'm a relationship guy, and it's hard for some women who are not strong to deal with that. But I had an issue a couple of days ago at a place with a girl I am seeing, and around the girls that I'm normally with, and she like, well, somebody said something some undertone. I'm like,
Undertone.
you know, undertone. There's no undertone. It's you.
But you know, girls, they be trying to make up their own problems. sometimes.
Exactly. They and that's another thing. I don't want no problems, man. I want no drama, no problems. Leave me out of
I feel
it.
the same. No drama.
Leave
no
me out of
problems.
it.
We chill.
You want to hang out? Come hang out.
Exactly.
You want to beat? You want to eat? You want to?
Okay, real shit. I'm
You want
happy.
to watch a movie?
And
You can
he's
beat
happy
me.
to be married. Whatever makes you happy, like that's.
Whatever
Yeah.
makes you happy. I believe in love. I'm looking forward to a very relationship. In my last relationship, it was the only one that I never cheated on this girl. And that was just 2 years ago. We were together for like a year and a half. Never cheated one time. I wanted to
Congratulations.
promote her. I
When
wanted
to go
be
from
with her.
beating and eating to loving and hugging.
Man, dude.
There is a moment for every man where it goes from beating to eating to loving and hugging.
Yeah, you gotta have it. Yeah, man. Because
Is it a morning thing? Is it like you just stare at her like, I think I like her?
Yeah, that's what it is. And no, I don't even think it's her. I think it is you. 'Cause
Yeah.
I made that decision. I didn't want to be this slimy guy that I always been, ruining relationships because of sex. So I'm like, you know what, man? I'm gonna do better by me. I don't need that no more. It's
true.
And if I want to just hang out with girls, I'm gonna just hang out with girls.
Yeah.
And that's where I am right now. I have friends, and if a relationship develops from it, great. But I am making sure that, and I'm not like this player. Every girl I talk to, like, oh, you got all these hoes.
You know what you
No.
need? You need some video games.
No.
He might like
We just
playing
talked
No, I
about
can't. I don't.
that.
I'm gonna bring
You know
him
what?
over.
I got a
No.
story for you. I played in the Madden Bowl '95 down in Miami Stadium
Oh,
for
snap.
John Madden during
crazy.
the Super Bowl.
That's crazy.
So I almost made the credits. I lost to Hardy Nickerson, and he lost in the finals to Reggie Brooks. So I was 1 win away, well, 2 wins away, because I lost to his ass, from having my picture and name on a Madden 96. So I did a video game.
One more. Okay, real quick before we wrap it up, where did the name The 28 Experience come from? What is it, and what are you trying to do with that?
Okay, great. So we skipped over Louboutin John.
Oh, wait.
Because that's who I am.
Real quick.
But,
say what Louboutin John means, and then the 28 Experience.
So I like wearing Louboutins, and back in 2018, I bought my first pair of red bottoms, sparkly. I had my 50th birthday party.
Put them up so the people can
Oh yeah, they better see them. They better see them. They right here. That's all I wear. That's all I wear. So at my birthday party, my boy Daryl, he looked at me. He was like, "Man, who do you think you are, Louboutin John or something?" I'm like, "I don't know what you're talking about, man. Whatever." Then my daughter-in-law Brittany bought me a candle, one of the Yankee candles, with the picture from my birthday with my shoes on it, and put Louboutin John at the bottom, and that sparked it from 2019. And then I changed my Instagram name in 2022. And it exploded. My sister-in-law, Tramika, called me like, "What's up, Louboutin John?" I'm like, this must be a thing, man. Because I wasn't thinking. But the 28 Experience is a daughter. That's a company that I started with my daughters, Brooke and Brianna. And the 28 is my father. My father died. My father died the year Jerome won the Super Bowl. The year I started Urban Mortgage. That was what God had to take for success, because you got to give up something. Something has to go in life. You can't have it all. You can't have it all. That's just, and I didn't. That's God's rule or law. It's unwritten, but that's the cost of fame. That's the cost of success.
That sucks.
You got to give up something.
My company, Charlotte's Webb, is my mother's name, because she passed.
Yeah,
you started it. So.
Yeah, you got to give up something, man. It's not right. But so the 28 is my father's birthday.
Okay.
So my daughter started the 28 Experience and the 28 Experience Productions as a tribute to my dad. She also has the Pink List. Brianna has the Pink List charity. It's a breast cancer charity in Detroit and here, Pittsburgh, benefiting breast cancer survivors.
I see. We went to one of those dinners.
Yeah, we went to the dinner.
Yeah.
She's 28. She's doing her thing.
I can't wait to go to another one.
Bring her
It was
ass here,
good.
man. She would be doing. I love Detroit. Detroit, very progressive. But I think if she was closer to me and her could be doing.
And we're trying to break out there too. So.
Yeah. We got Detroit for you, man. We got Detroit.
We started the production side of Charlotte's Web because someone pissed us off.
Yeah.
So one day I was just pissed. I was like, I'm just going to start recording videos.
I'm not gonna say
I like
names.
it. I'm getting there. I know why you're there.
Look, someone you know.
I know why you're there. It's
I have one last question, just real quick. I know we've been running time.
Yeah.
When is the last time you felt like you didn't love yourself, and how did you self-correct that?
That's a good question. When was it? So I just went through. I think I have a whole period where I didn't love myself, and I think that projected off to any relationships I had because I was just big. You know, I felt like my weight. I felt like I had to overcompensate, just overcompensate with being flashy and dressing and being this big personality because I was big. You know, I was heavier than I wanted to be.
Yeah.
So I took on that journey, and maybe like 2022, I got serious. Like, I'm losing some weight, man. I'm about to get sexy. So right now, my whole thing is, she'll tell you, I'm sexy, man. I'm sexy. And my goal is to be sexy. And that was born out of like that hate or a lack of self-love for myself and my weight, and feeling like, hey, I'm tearing up my daughters. You know, I'm projecting my weight on my family. I don't want everybody to be big. I'm the leader. Like, you can't lead by example and do this. So I took it upon myself. I took the necessary steps. I used chemicals in the gym and every fucking thing that God put in front of us to do it.
And now the guns is gunning.
Give me some of that.
The guns is gunning.
I'm in it.
I need that.
Yeah, I got it. I got you. I have the secret formula. I have the secret formula. This is gonna sound crazy.
What?
Appetite suppression. That's it. In the gym.
I just love cookies and.
You can have 8 cookies.
I'm actually hungry now.
I'm not. I haven't eaten at all today. But again, I take medicine to help curb my appetite. I take appetite suppressants because it's bigger than us.
Yeah, that's true.
Listen, it's bigger than us. You cannot not be hungry if your body is programmed to eat. You can't, man. It's like a crackhead.
And the food is
You're a
low-key
crackhead, you gotta have
addictive.
crack. You gotta have crack.
They build the food to be addictive too.
It would just be so good.
Like
It'd
they
be so
actually, I watched something and read something about this, but
So I got
wanna-
a question. I got
Yeah.
a question for y'all.
Yeah.
3 questions.
Yeah.
The first one is, who is the cute sound engineer that we have
Maria.
working? Throw me a shout out.
Look at her face.
If y'all can, throw me a shout out.
All right, we
Maybe
got
an
you.
eat and beat type of situation. Throw me a shout out. Throw me a shout out. I don't know. We'll see. The second question is, what made you guys want to do a podcast? Because I know mine.
Go.
I mean, for me, I've been trying to do a podcast with Mike for years.
Really?
Because
He's one dope guy.
yeah, and because just from us working together and being friends, we have so many debates. Like, we're always on opposite ends of everything. So, but our debates would be very intelligent. We would have facts behind it. Like, it would be a good conversation. I'm like, this should be a podcast. Like, we should be talking about this. And I've been trying to get Mike to do it forever. And he's always like, giving me the runaround. And then, but I think our personalities go well together. And we want to do something for Charlotte's Web as well.
Yes.
So he finally agreed. I don't know. Why'd you agree finally?
I mean, I didn't want to do one. I've done like 3-4 podcasts, so I didn't want to do one at that time. But we talked about it a little bit after Savoy because we missed Savoy so much.
Right.
So he was like, "Let's do one." But in this last month, before Detroit, I was already like, I wanted to revamp the company and scale, and I knew that I had to bring on people for that. But after I left Detroit, I met so many people there that were just doing these incredible things, like just raising money from VC firms and building out these companies that were national, international, and they were my age. So I came back home. With a vengeance. Like, man, fuck this. Like, let's go.
He was like, we're doing a podcast.
So
Laser focus.
part of that was, the podcast was a small part of that. Part of that was, I called a man that was like, hey, it's time to get the Charlotte's Web stuff back up. And like, I already was doing like smaller projects and hiring contractors, but Amanda was always in the last 2 years kind of like the focal point of everything. So I was like, let's get it back and rolling. I have some other people that I want to bring on. So we hired on like 2 or 3 people in the last 2 weeks. And then a part of that is because we're a marketing company, I do so many other marketing stuff for other clients. A podcast is just a great marketing device.
It's a great vehicle.
And our view of the podcast was, it's going to be a podcast and we're going to come up with a name randomly, but we really want to use the clips to promote the overall brand. Right. And for us, it's about like consistency. Like, can we do it 9-10 times in a row? And then we'll figure it out on the way. I had a boring name called Beyond the Web. We on the phone and Amanda's like, you see the Webby on my shirt? I'm like, the Webby is a great name.
The Webby?
Yeah.
I like it.
See, that's what I said.
I like it.
So I said, let's do it. And then this makes it easy.
Yeah.
We could just walk in and just.
Yeah. And low key, like, since, I don't know if the people know, but since I'm producing your podcast, I wanted you to see that it can be easy.
Much easier, huh?
And not take forever.
But can we come and speak on your, can we come?
Man, listen.
Me and Amanda, can we be guests?
Well, let's do this. Let's do this first.
How am
Would
I
you
gonna
come
be a guest?
visit first?
Yeah, I'm coming.
Yeah.
Can we get a visit first?
That's what I'm going to do is, I'm going to tell
Retreat
Tasia to put us
visit.
all on a group message, and then we're going to lock in and schedule a date. All of us.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because she run my calendar. So it's like, all right, cool.
Lock in on the date, and then when we record next time,
We'll bring
I
some
gotta have y'all on.
food, and then we'll just chill for the day or something. That's
I
like a
like
nice little staycation still in the city.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Come out to the rich room.
Come out to the rich room, baby.
Do we got to take our shoes off?
No,
if it's
no,
not
you
Louis
don't have
Vuitton,
to.
if it's not Louis Vuitton, we got to take our shoes off.
Yes, you do. Yes, you. Yeah.
So to wrap it up, can you tell us, for the Rich Room,
Yes.
when it's going to be airing, where we can find it, all that good stuff?
Okay, so the Rich Room right now we're releasing July 26th. So
And what's
hopefully
that day?
Hopefully that's a Friday. That's my birthday.
Yep.
My birthday. I'm turning 56. I'm old, man.
37.
I'm old, man. Don't tell the sound engineer how old I am, in case she's interested. In case she's in, she may be. I don't know. We'll talk about that later. But so the 26th is my birthday, and we're gonna launch this this podcast that was born out of an interview I did with S&T Bank, my bank. And the woman, Genevieve, who I'm very close with, who was my banker, just saying, John, man, you're so comfortable behind a camera, think about doing a podcast. I'm like, what am I going to do it about? I don't know. And at that time, I was still doing my happy hours because I do a happy hour
with a capital S.
With a capital S at the Rich Room. That's like after work, Wednesday, Thursday. Everybody come by, we just drink and we have these conversations. And that's what I wanted the podcast to be. That's the only thing I could think. Are we gonna do it here?
Yeah.
Let's do it here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I wanted a nice warm feel where you sit back, we drinking, we smoking, and we cussing.
Yeah.
And I can get the truth out of people.
But
similar to you guys, I only want to talk about a professional journey, a personal journey. I don't want to talk relationships, although we talked about the engineer.
We touched on it,
beating and eating. We talked, me and her. But we talked about that. But
not the topics that everybody's talking like.
Right, I don't want
men these days, women these like.
Yeah, like I know, man.
I think you have to touch on the personal a little bit, but like it doesn't have to be the
but
central
it's more
conversation.
Personal. Like you can talk about your personal experience, but not like bashing women, bashing men.
I hate that, man.
Yeah.
I hate that, and I'm so wounded that as I'm talking, it may come out the wrong way.
No, you didn't give that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
No.
So that's what it's about. So it's the Rich Room. It's the Rich Room podcast, the Rich Room live on all platforms, YouTube. It'll be on iTunes. It'll be on every other damn site, the Hitter, Twitter, Shitter, Bigger,
TikTok, all that.
TikTok, all that. We'll be all there. And when I started standing this thing up, man, similar to you, like, hey, what do you have to do? I knew I had to get the right person.
Yeah.
So the first person, I had two guys who were doing production on some other stuff for me, but the person who I knew that I needed to call was Amanda. I called Amanda.
She's the go-to.
But only because this is not what I know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I know via her experience after she quit and left us back in 2012 and left us with nothing, bare bones, and we had to build from nothing, because we didn't have nothing when she left us. I reached out to her like, hey, what do you think?
I'm gonna tell you from my point of view, like I know like the old adage of like you can never hire another version of you, but like man, goddamn sure close.
She got you, man.
And she better at it because she's beautiful.
Yeah.
Like she's warm. She make people laugh. Like me, if I say like go get this, I'm like what? She say, hey, can you go get this? They're like, yeah, anything for you.
At all. They're not threatening. You're just trying to boss them around.
Yeah, I'm just.
She just needs help.
She just needs some help.
She needs help.
Oh,
that's
man.
some bullshit, by the way.
I know, but it works.
It works. It works.
Yeah.
It works.
Well, thank you for coming on the Webby.
Thank you. I'm a proud Webby member, man.
Yeah, we really appreciate it.
Yeah.
And I think I can speak for Amanda. Like I learned a ton from you, and now definitely let's schedule because I want to learn offline
even more.
Yes.
And we got to have this. We got to take this conversation because now I want to hear your story. I want to hear your story. I want to hear how LA went. You know what I mean? And I
do want to hear how because you told me a little bit.
I met you when you and your company was managing artists.
Yeah.
That's my first introduction to you.
Yeah.
So I want to hear about those things, man. I'm interested in the journey. I want to know how everybody got there. How did those pieces add up for you to make you the success that you are? That's what I want to hear.
Okay.
Coming soon on the Rich Room.
That's right, on the Rich Room, baby.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. Webby.
Trying to do better.